Alright, this is the intro to the video. I know it's late, I didn't make an intro properly, but this is the book signing for Mira Grant. Okay, you're gonna now see the beginning of the vlog. Gotta be sneaky about this. The event is about to start soon. I did not do an intro. I'm so sorry. The signing is about to happen. I will get back to you in a moment. Editing Kaylee. I wanted to quickly say it's like a jump scare in between the cuts, so I wanted to put myself in here and explain the intro real quick. Mira came and sat down in her seat, and not gonna lie, I did not know it was Mira. I know. The only thing I have to go off on Mira's image is the blurb in the back of her books, and it wasn't until like later I looked at it, but to me at the time, like, I thought she had short hair, and like obviously like maybe if she wasn't wearing a mask I probably would have recognized her, but like I didn't know it was Mira. I thought it was the host, and so she was talking. She literally sat down. And, like, the reason why I thought she was a host because she sat down. There was no one in the other seat. And I'm like, oh, this is the host introducing Mira. Because she's like, let me tell you something about botflies. And girl just went right into it. And I was like, okay, cool, botflies. I'm like, is this in correlation with the new book that she's releasing, which is Overgrowth? And so she goes into these fun facts about botflies. And basically, essentially, how the United States government got rid of the program that kept botflies out of the United States. This is where that context comes from into the next clip. So yeah, and turns out the girl with the mask wasn't the host. It is actually, in fact, the author. And I was so confused because I was like, oh. And the host girl, she ended up coming up. She's like, well, she came up here by herself, didn't need introduction. And I'm like, oh, that's the author. Okay. So yeah.
Part of the evening. I cut off the tip while cutting cilantro. Anybody's welcome to see a picture later. I've been showing everybody. Well, it's bandaged, so. All right. Do you want me to read your bio? I feel like
I don't know which bio you have.
I have the one in the back.
Okay, that's fine. You can do that if you want.
It's very short. That's great.
That's
I feel great. I looked. Don't worry. Tonight is one of the nights that I've just been most excited about all year, so I'm really just thrilled that this is happening, and I can't wait to see the turns the night takes. Y'all, Mira Grant is the author of the New York Times bestselling News Flash series, along with multiple other works of biomedical science fiction. She has been nominated for the Hugo Award, and her book Feed was chosen as one of NPR's 100 Killer Thrillers. Everybody, please welcome Mira to us here tonight.
Earlier this year, where the person who was in conversation with me decided that the best way to do the introduction would be to read off my full bibliography.
We were just talking before everybody got here, and you mentioned
this is my 100th published book.
In under 15 years.
In under 15 years, I did not want to sit through my entire bibliography. No one else wanted to sit through my entire bibliography. She just kept going.
Okay, but I've been in her shoes, and sometimes you get halfway down, and then you're like, how do I get out of this?
I know, it was just like, I very rarely wanted to water balloon the person I was talking with quite as badly as I wanted to water balloon her.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so 100 books deep. Can I ask, opening question, what else do you do?
I play a whole lot of Magic the Gathering.
I love. Okay.
I go to way too much musical theater.
We bonded about this beforehand.
We were already having the musical theater discussion. That is mostly what I do. I go to conventions when my publisher tells me to.
Love.
And in 2019, with the best stroke of timing anyone has ever had in this universe, I joined the Disney Vacation Club.
Listen. There's something comical in that timing. Well, I don't know if you all know. So new books come out every Tuesday, and this is
Release day!
Release day for Overgrowth. Congratulations! If folks don't know what this book is about, how would you describe it to them?
So this is the closest I will ever come to an autobiography.
Okay.
When I was 3, I got lost in the woods behind my grandmother's house.
Yeah.
And they didn't find me for 2 days.
No.
Yes, way.
You are the vanguard
My
of
mother
an
goes,
alien.
yes, I am the vanguard of an alien, of an alien species of plant people on its way to invade your puny planet.
Please show
It's
us
too
mercy.
late. It is too late. I told everyone the timer was running out on that as soon as I sold this book.
It's so fair.
But I have been telling people that the aliens took my mother's real baby since I was 3,
Wow.
to the point that I honestly don't know if the aliens took her real baby or not. I was 3. When you're 3, the Muppets genuinely talk to you. Like, all 3-year-olds exist in a permanent state of mild psychosis.
No, that's fair.
So,
And they're all a little gay.
yeah, maybe I linked a really interesting shelf fungus. Maybe I saw a bush.
Mhm.
Maybe the aliens abducted and replaced me.
Right?
We'll find out when the Armada gets here.
So fair. So, the book, I feel, starts there and becomes so many different things. It's like a first contact novel. It definitely is horror. I feel like I have to open by saying, like, we love all of your horror. Into the Drowning Deep has been on staff favorite lists for a very long time. You did ruin mermaids for us.
I read mermaids for a lot of people.
No, that's so fair. Can you talk a little bit what drew you to the horror genre and specifically how you cross it with sci-fi and why?
I cross it with sci-fi because it turns out I'm not good at not crossing it with sci-fi. If you give me a scalpel and a puddle of slime, I am more interested in the scalpel, and you will inherently focus on what interests you.
Okay.
I like horror and science fiction horror that holds together on a scientific level.
Yeah.
If you've read the Newsflash series, which is the one that started with Feed, I am literally probably the world's foremost civilian expert on coronaviruses.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. Kellis Amberley in the Newsflash series is a corona. I spent 5 years researching with the CDC and the World Health Organization to figure out how I could use a coronavirus to destroy the world. We're pretty sure my phone is tapped now. And if you read that series, it is actually difficult for me to believe that I wrote that series in 2010. When I reread it now, because I'm like explaining how Kellis Amberley works and just making absolute statements about the virus that, oh, scientists have just discovered that COVID-19 can form reservoirs in the body. Really? Because we knew that about 7 different coronaviruses in 2010, which is why it is a function of Kellis Amberley. I like my science to hang together. I know a lot of people that are really into World War Z.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand that book because the virology in World War Z is so bad that the Smurfs did it better.
That's a good one. And so you feel you get into the science. You get into the science.
I like the science better than almost anything else. It is sometimes difficult to get me out of the science.
Was there what was the weird Google that happened from this? What do you know now from this book that you didn't know before?
That Invasion of the Body Snatchers is in the public domain.
That's so funny.
So really nothing, because plant horror has been a passionate interest of mine since I was a small child.
Yeah.
Little Shop of Horrors is one of my absolute all-time favorite movies.
Yeah.
I've watched it literally once a day for 2 years when I was 9 and 10. All children also exist in a state of permanent psychosis. But building on that great tradition of plant horror was really exciting for me. There's less science in this than in almost any other Mira Grant book. There is a flying dinosaur pretty much straight up lifted from Flight Rising, but
there's a lot of government.
There's a lot of government. I don't like the government during this. I mean, we need a government because, as anyone who has ever needed the ADA can tell you, counting on a world where people will just be nice because it's the right thing to do just gets you stuck outside on the sidewalk.
Right.
But, so we need a government, but we kind of need a government that isn't just trying to dick us all the time.
Sure.
And so I tend to write very abusive governments because that's what I got to base it on.
Right. But I felt like that aspect of the science fiction played very true. Mm-hmm. It's not quite dystopian, but there's elements of dystopia in it. Specifically, you open with acknowledgement of the climate crisis is in full swing. Mm-hmm. And I think that all of the elements play together so well. You talked a little bit beforehand. The book is set in Seattle. You have recently moved to Seattle, or
about almost 10 years ago.
Okay,
now.
not recent.
Okay, we have to remember though.
Yes.
The last dear God, 6 years at this point have been spent in a state of pandemic semi-lockdown.
Yeah.
Time is broken.
Is that real Seattle?
Time is legitimately broken.
It's
I
so
can
fair.
only keep track of when things happen by who was Doctor Who at that point.
So fair. I'm enjoying this season.
I'm enjoying Ncuti. He's doing a really
I
great
really
job.
like him. Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of the things that I was concerned about is actively happening, which is I was worried that because we have a completely non-white team TARDIS for the first time,
Yeah.
which is fantastic,
Yeah.
that we would see ratings go through the floor.
Yeah. Distribution doesn't help. Like it's hard.
Distribution doesn't help, but it's
Yeah.
on Disney Plus.
I know.
Like,
It's accessible.
we've never had this much access outside of England, and yet the overnight numbers for the entire season have been the lowest since Eccleston.
No, I
And given what's going on in England right now and what's going on in America, it is really, really difficult not to look at that and go, I didn't realize how many Whovians were white supremacist dickheads.
Well, not even just like the first non-white team, but like a queer black person at the helm of the chart. Like I think
But
that
we did okay last season when it was
Yeah.
with Ruby Sunday, the pretty little white girl.
with Billy Piper Light.
Yeah, with Billy Piper Light.
Yeah.
And now we've got...
Sorry, if
we've
you don't
got-
watch Doctor Who, I feel like this became inside baseball. We'll swing back to the book.
One thing I thought, if the conversation lulls, is I will start explaining every card in my commander deck individually and
Sure.
what it does, so this is not nearly as bad. But the current Doctor is a black queer actor playing a black queer Doctor, and he is fantastic. Last season, he had a companion named Ruby Sunday, who was a skinny white girl. We have seen this before. But she was delightful. The actress did a really good job, and she left at the end of the serial and has been replaced by an actress who is playing a companion named Belinda Chandra. She is, I think, our second British Indian companion after Jazz. And she is fantastic, but it is the first time we've had no white people traveling in the TARDIS. And it is fascinating how many people are suddenly not interested in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Just like it was great when Josie became the Doctor. We had our first female Doctor, and so many of the dudes I know were just like, nah, Doctor Who's
It's boring now. Yeah. I
It
heard
got
that.
woke.
Yeah. It was always woke.
Oh no, I woke some of them up. I have a cowbell. So you want woke, I will keep you awake for 24 hours straight.
I won't let you sleep. We talked.
Fields,
Uh-huh.
who actually writes a series of space opera lesbian romances called Argillum.
I'll be there in a second.
is straight up the world expert
Oh.
in wood funguses.
Okay.
That is what they are the person that every other mycologist in the world goes to if they have a question about spalted wood or wood fungus. And they would hit me from Washington State. They would just reach through the ether and smack me in the back of the head if I called something that wasn't about mushrooms
A spore. No, that's fair. And I appreciate I think that was important for all of us, right? So you're a longtime fan of plant horror. I feel like I'm watching it become more and more popular.
which is great.
And I'm interested in why that's happening. Why do you think plant horror is having its day?
So I think that both plant horror and spore, they're kind of conjoined because people don't always distinguish them at a base level.
Sure.
They're both happening right now because you mentioned the climate effect. We have fucked it up.
Yeah.
Before you came up to join me, I was talking about how the screw flies are coming back. The screw flies are going to have a party. Aegis aegypti, which is the mosquito that spreads yellow fever, its range is spreading right now because things are getting warmer.
Yeah.
We're getting invasive plants and invasive fungus that we have never had before. If you watch the first season of The Last of Us, they open the show with a scene that was not in the games that's just beautiful of two mycologists talking about how if fungus can adapt to live in the hotter environment of the human body, that's it, that's game over.
Oh.
And they are not wrong. Fungus are not plants. We cannot kill them in any way that matters.
I'm getting scared. No.
What?
A mushroom is more closely related to a corgi than it is to a coconut.
Okay.
They can consume all matter.
I don't eat mushrooms.
That's probably for the best.
It's a
I eat
textural
lot of them.
element.
Yeah, well, you will become mushrooms one day. They consume bodies, they consume plants, they consume bricks.
Okay.
They can eat their way through everything. And as we fuck up the climate and don't stop to think about where we're doing our old growth logging and what we're knocking down, we are finding more and more entertaining fungus that really don't like us.
Sure.
It's kind of like the way we keep finding really entertaining diseases that really don't like us.
Yeah.
It's a great time. We still don't know where some of these diseases come from. We only found out where Ebola came from because we found the cave where the bats were nesting and a virologist cut his hand. This did not end well.
Wow.
But now we know where Ebola comes from.
Yeah.
We still don't know exactly where Congo Crimean hemorrhagic fever comes from. We don't know why Nipah super amplifies in horses.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know if there's a cordyceps species out there that infects monkeys. And if there is, it will jump to humans like that. And as we have learned from COVID, no one will wear a goddamn mask to stop it.
Sure.
We're going to have a party.
And thus the proliferation.
And thus the
plant
proliferation.
and spore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It is unstoppable and awful. And we are all going to enjoy the lonesome death of Jordy Verrill.
I feel strongly in my bones I'm not made to suffer very long.
That's okay. On the plus side, you won't.
That feels great. We've made a deal here, you and I, and 30 of our closest friends.
Okay, so I saw her photos, of the photos that got taken, or a photo. I think it's just a photo. But oh my god, that's fucking crazy. She's iconic! And I'm gonna text someone I haven't texted in a while. And I'm gonna tell them, I'm like, this woman reminds me, like, hardcore of you. Like, the way she talks and stuff. And, like, she just, oh my god. But, yeah. And, fuck, I was hoping that I would get out. I'm gonna turn the light off now. I was hoping to get out, like, be the first people to, like, get out in time, like, in the beginning. My words are not wording. But then she requested that people with, larger stacks to be last, and I was like, fuck, I got $8. I'm gonna have to be last. Because, your girl has an opening shift tomorrow. It's a good thing I am staying the night at my house tonight and not where I'm currently sitting at. We continue this maybe when I get home, talk further about it, and do a sign off. Okay. I'm trying not to show, like, the mess of my room. So I'm going to make this quick. Because I have to wake up at 3 a.m. I have to wake up at 3 a.m. So, to take a shower and eat real quick. I loved her. She was iconic, amazing. Even though I work in, like, customer service, like, for some reason, I had a hard time of, like, thinking of things to, like, talk to her while she was signing my books, because as I said, I had 8. Or did I say that? I don't know. By the way, this is what my outfit looks like. This is, like, my Snapchat video. Okay. And I'm gonna let that play while I'm talking. And so I was like, have you played Baldur's Gate? I know you say you play D&D and Magic the Gathering. And they were like, no. I'm like I'll get too consumed with games. I've lost many of friends to Baldur's Gate. And I'm like, yeah, it's very immersive. And then I asked them, like, and I let them know my experience on, like, what happened with Feed, and how, like, I was literally sobbing in a museum because of something. I'm not gonna spoil it. I was sobbing, and I asked them another question. I don't want to spoil it because it deals with that. And I'm like, were you already planning for that to happen? Like, the after thing. Like, the event happened, I cried at. Well, that event was sort of, like, brought back a little bit in the 3rd book. And they're like, yes, but, like, I couldn't, like, write it any sooner. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, yeah, because they were a mess as well, apparently. In so many words, fuck. I have short-term memory loss, so, like, I can't remember things for exact. Anyway, fuck, my arm's getting tired. It was a cute, I'm trying not to show mess. It was a nice, cute little book signing. I really liked it, and I got home as fast as I could. Sorry it's not much. I forgot to, like, record my intro. before like leaving, and I didn't remember until like I was in the bookstore, because like where the signing is at is like at underneath the bookstore, and they have two bookstores up top. Obviously you see the location because of the sign in the background. It's Novel Neighbor. So like it's Novel Neighbor that hosts it, and but so there's like two bookstores upstairs. There's the second one's also owned by Novel Neighbor. They just have like a separate entity, which is called Open Book Romance, I think, or is it? It's either called Open Book. No, Open Door. No, I don't know. Open something, and Open Romance. Fuck, I think it's Open Book Romance, and it's like that section of their like building. It's all like romance and stuff. So I ended up buying a sticker to add to my sticker collection. But then I bought 2 books at the event, which is Into the Drowning Deep, which was sort of a last minute decision. Like, I knew I could have gotten it in time, but I was like, you know what? Maybe not. But I ended up getting it. And then, I don't know why I didn't buy it. Yeah, anyway. And then I bought their other book, which is under their actual name, which is Shauna McGuire? I think that's how you say their name. And it has like the candle hands. And it was like, that one was bought on a whim, because I'm like, I've seen this cover before and I know it's popular. I'm like, so like, I'll give it a go. I'll buy it. Wow. Homie was right. I do look like a vampire. There's this person in line, and they're like, it's giving vampire. And I'm like, thanks. I saw Sinners once. And I'm like, yeah. Anyway, so it was great seeing them. And that's it. I'm gonna end it here, because I gotta shower, eat, and go to bed. Probably gonna take my pills. They're not pills, they're gummies. I'm gonna take my gummies now and grow even more tired. I'm already tired. I made sure to take a nap today, knowing with the fact that I wasn't gonna get a lot of sleep tonight. And I'm like, and I'm gonna have to take a nap at work. On my 30, no, I'll probably nibble on something before they send me on my lunch. And then once I'm on my lunch at work, I'm just gonna conk out. Thank you for watching this video. I know I haven't streamed in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's crazy. Life is busy. Life is chaotic. I literally, with everything that's going on, I'm like, something has to give. And right at that moment, it had to be streaming. Technically, I could fit it. I just get burnt out and overwhelmed, and I wouldn't be as like, it wouldn't be a hobby of mine. So yeah, sorry. Anyway, see you next video, which is probably going to be the next signing. That should be Susan Lee. Her book is, I think, down there. Anyway, goodbye.